Hello, this 8-minute video is to help study abroad applicants understand and prepare for the financial aid aspect of a term abroad. Financial aid can include student loans, grants, or scholarships. This brief presentation will cover important factors to be aware of, the process of financial aid for study abroad participants, and when you can expect aid to be dispersed. If you are accessing this in the My Study Abroad application, please complete the quiz afterwards to confirm your comprehension. First and foremost, you should be aware of when deposits and full payments are due for your study abroad program, as aid is never dispersed until after the WSU term begins. There are a number of costs you will need to be prepared to pay before your aid is dispersed. In addition to your program cost, your passport, visa, round-trip plane tickets, and in some cases housing deposit will need to be purchased before your aid is available or even determined. If you are dependent on financial aid and are concerned about these upfront costs, please contact your Global Learning Advisor before the application deadline to discuss options, timing, and potential resources for funding the opportunity abroad. If you are participating on a semester or year-long program, Global Learning requires that you are enrolled as a full-time student. As an undergraduate, this means taking the equivalent of at least 12 WSU credits per semester, or a cumulative 6 credits during summer. This is the basic process and timeline leading to readjustment of your financial aid award. We don't want anything to hold up your aid, so please utilize your resources. To receive federal or state financial aid, you must have a completed FAFSA on file for the term you will be abroad. A FAFSA is valid for a full academic year, which starts in fall, followed by spring and summer terms. Don't forget to submit any requested documentation. You should contact Student Financial Services and any scholarship providers to confirm whether your aid or scholarships can be applied to study abroad. You can meet with SFS at any time, but no specific dollar amount can be determined until after the deadline. Start budgeting for study abroad as soon as possible. Global Learning's budget planning worksheet can help you identify all of the different costs involved. Hopefully, you have carefully selected a program that meets both your goals and any budgetary restrictions. Once your application is submitted and the WSU application deadline is passed, Global Learning will compile the Program Expense Information, or PEI, for students that indicated they plan to use federal aid. This information details the entire estimated cost of your program abroad, including tuition, housing, meals, airfare, and books. Global Learning will send this information to Student Financial Services. SFS will carefully review both your program expense information and what aid is available to you. Once your award has been adjusted for study abroad, you will receive notice from SFS. You will then need to specifically accept or decline those awards or loans. When aid is dispersed, it will first pay off any outstanding charges on your WSU account. Any excess will then be given to you as a refund. You are responsible for paying any outstanding costs, including any that are due before financial aid is dispersed. We will discuss that timeline shortly. There is nothing you can do to speed up this process. Please be patient, as this is a skill you will find useful while living abroad. Your study abroad provider may have a form to verify that you have been awarded financial aid for the relevant term abroad. Although this form will ultimately be signed by a financial services counselor, you must bring it to the Global Learning Department in Bryan Hall. The form will be sent to Student Financial Services along with your program expense information after the deadline passes. A financial services counselor will then complete the form and send it directly to the provider after your award has been adjusted. These forms are prioritized by program start date, but can take up to 3 months after the deadline to be completed and sent to the provider. As all students are anxious for this form to be completed, there is nothing you can do to speed up this process. However, providers are often understanding of this fact. Funds are dispersed on WSU's term start date or 10 days prior to your official program start date, whichever is later. Specific dates will vary, but please look at the following examples to illustrate how this could impact you. If your program starts within the first 10 calendar days of the WSU term, your funds will be released when the WSU term begins. If your program starts after that, aid will be dispersed 10 days before the program start date. For example, if your program starts here, 10 days before that is the 11th. This example isn't so straightforward, however. WSU isn't open on weekends and holidays, so in general, financial aid is delivered to students' accounts Sunday night through Thursday. Finally, if your program begins before the WSU term, aid cannot be released until the WSU term begins. You will therefore already be in country before your funds are released to you. This is very important as deadlines will likely be earlier and you will need to budget for your time in country before your aid is released. If you decide not to study abroad, you must contact both the Global Learning Department and SFS in addition to others involved. Please do this as soon as possible so that we can focus on reevaluating student aid for those that are going abroad. Please note that refunds are not available after certain deadlines have passed. You should check your specific program for details. You must continue to make satisfactory academic progress while you are abroad. We recommend obtaining an unofficial transcript before you return home to show that progress was made. In addition to understanding the process and timeline, there are a number of items that should be completed before you depart. Monitor MyWSU and your WSU email. Both Global Learning and Student Financial Services will use this as the primary contact for you. Set up direct deposit to ensure that when funds are dispersed, they go straight into the account that will be paying for everything. Update your listed address in MyWSU to ensure that any mail goes to someone who will be able to forward it on to you. Because of the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, it is necessary for you to set up and complete the appropriate permissions for anyone who you'd like to act on your behalf regarding your financial aid. Please note that these permissions are specific to Student Financial Services and do not carry over to other departments or offices. If you would like to grant the Global Learning Department this permission as well, you will need to complete the necessary form, which is available in Bryan Hall, room 105. Ensure there are no holds on your record. If there are any holds, you cannot be registered in the placeholder credits and will therefore not be eligible to receive your funds. You may have been offered loan money that you did not initially accept. You may want to consider accepting these funds to assist in financing your study abroad experience. Ensure that you have completed any master promissory notes and entrance loan counseling as required, and reported all scholarships that you have received. And once again, please don't forget to keep monitoring MyWSU and your WSU email for updates, both before your departure and while abroad. Please contact the Global Learning Department for any questions related to your program abroad, the application, or the process. To check whether your current aid is available for your program abroad, to confirm you have submitted all necessary documentation, or to ask other financial aid specific questions, contact a Student Financial Services counselor. Thank you for your attention, and don't forget the quiz. We all hope you have an amazing international experience.